There comes a time in your life when you realize that waiting won't change anything, that wishing, hoping, and dreaming won't move you forward unless you take control. This is that moment, the moment you decide to stop letting doubt dictate your destiny, the moment you stop playing small and start living with power. You see, the difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or timing. It's discipline. It's the ability to show up when it's hard, to push through when it hurts, to stay focused when distractions scream for your attention. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become. Most people let doubt win. They let fear talk them out of opportunities. They let excuses steal their dreams, and they live their lives wondering, what if? But not you. Not anymore. This is your turning point. The day you rise above hesitation. The day you silence the noise and trust your strength. Because the truth is, you already have everything you need to win. It's inside you. That fire, that drive, that hunger to do more and be more. The path won't be easy. You'll face setbacks, rejection, and moments where quitting feels tempting. But that's where you separate yourself from the rest. That's where discipline takes over. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel, and only cares that you show up. And every time you do, you build power, you build confidence, you build momentum. So today, draw the line. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect moment. You are the moment. You are the comeback, the breakthrough, the unstoppable force the world didn't see coming. This isn't about being fearless. It's about taking action even when you're scared. It's about replacing doubt with discipline and turning struggle into strength. Because when you commit fully, when you move with purpose, when you decide that nothing will stand in your way, you don't just change your life, you rewrite it. This is your awakening. This is your rise. This is Discipline over doubt. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality, and most people never cross it because they underestimate what it truly demands. Everyone dreams. Everyone wants to become something greater, to live a life filled with purpose, freedom, and success. But very few are willing to pay the price that dream requires. Dreaming feels good. It gives a momentary rush of hope, a sense of potential. But dreams without action fade into frustration. Discipline is the thing that separates the dreamers from the doers. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, and it doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment. But it's the foundation of every breakthrough you'll ever experience. Discipline means doing what must be done long after the feeling that inspired you has disappeared. It's showing up when you're tired, when you're uninspired, when no one is watching. It's waking up early even when you want to sleep in. It's staying late when your body says quit. It's pushing through discomfort because you understand that growth lives on the other side of pain. Success is built in the moments when you could give up, but you don't. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up repeatedly, even when progress feels invisible. Because the truth is, small actions done consistently will always outperform big actions done occasionally. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They tell themselves that one day when things are easier, they'll start. But that day never comes. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, not a fire. Discipline is what keeps the flame alive when everything else fades. It's the quiet, steady force that drives you forward when your emotions try to hold you back. You don't build discipline overnight, you build it through repetition. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you push through resistance, you strengthen that muscle. Eventually, it becomes part of who you are, a natural part of your identity. There will be days when you question why you're even doing it. You'll wonder if the effort is worth it. You'll doubt your abilities and your path. But discipline doesn't need validation, it needs commitment. When you act out of discipline, you stop being controlled by moods, opinions, or circumstances. You take full ownership of your life. You no longer rely on external motivation, because your drive comes from within. You understand that your dream doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. And that's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't lie. It rewards those who stay consistent. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice compounds into something extraordinary. People may not see the grind, but they'll see the results. And when they do, they'll call you lucky. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck, it was discipline. Discipline turns potential into power. It transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It builds habits that build lives. It's the bridge that takes you from where you are to where you want to be, one step, one decision, one day at a time. And the moment you decide to live by discipline instead of emotion, you'll realize that nothing can stop you anymore. You'll have become unstoppable, not because it was easy, but because you chose to keep going when it wasn't. Doubt is one of the most powerful forces that stands between you and your potential. It creeps in silently, whispering lies into your mind, making you question your ability, your worth, and your future. It shows up when things get hard, when results don't come fast enough, or when you compare your journey to someone else's. Doubt isn't always loud. It's subtle, persuasive, and convincing. It doesn't scream, "You can't do it." It whispers, "Maybe you're not ready. Maybe it's not meant for you." And that's what makes it so dangerous. It disguises itself as logic, as caution, as realism, when in truth, it's fear wearing a mask. But here's what most people never realize: doubt isn't a signal to stop. It's a test. It's the universe asking you, how badly do you want this? Every dream worth chasing will invite doubt. Every new level of your life will demand that you face uncertainty. You can't eliminate doubt completely, but you can choose how to respond to it. Most people retreat when they feel it. They interpret that tension as a sign they're not capable. But the ones who rise see doubt as a challenge. They feel it and move forward anyway, because courage isn't the absence of doubt. It's taking action despite it. Doubt feeds on inaction. The longer you sit in hesitation, the louder it grows. It thrives when you overthink, when you seek approval, when you wait for perfect conditions. But the moment you take a step, no matter how small, you start starving it. Action destroys doubt. Each time you act, you collect evidence that you're capable, that you're stronger than your fears. Slowly, your mind begins to trust you again. The same voice that once said, "You can't," starts whispering, "Maybe you can." And with repetition, that maybe turns into, "I will." You see, doubt doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're growing. It shows up whenever you step beyond what's familiar. It's your mind's way of protecting you from discomfort. But growth only happens outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where doubt tries to keep you from going. Every time you push through it, you expand your boundaries. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. What once scared you becomes your strength. Doubt may visit, but discipline decides how long it stays. The most dangerous thing doubt can do is convince you to quit right before things start working. It's the voice that says, "What's the point?" When success is just one more try away, it tricks you into stopping, not because you're incapable, but because you're uncomfortable. But if you can hold on, if you can silence that voice with persistence, you'll see that every major breakthrough happens just after doubt tries to make you stop. So, the next time doubt whispers in your ear, don't argue with it. Answer it with action. When it says you're not ready, prepare harder. When it says you're not enough, work smarter. When it says you can't, prove it wrong. Doubt loses power the moment you stop listening and start doing. Because doubt is never the truth. It's a test. And those who have the courage to face it, to walk through it, to act despite it, discover something extraordinary on the other side: confidence, clarity, and an unstoppable belief in who they are becoming. You don't have to erase doubt. You just have to outwork it. You just have to show it that it doesn't control your decisions. Because once you've faced doubt enough times, it stops being an enemy. It becomes a signal that you're on the right path. It means you're growing, evolving, stepping into your power. And when you keep moving forward, no matter how loud doubt gets, it will always end up behind you. Emotions are powerful, but they are also unpredictable. They rise and fall like waves. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days you can barely find the energy to move. That's human nature. The problem begins when people allow their emotions to dictate their actions. They chase the feeling of motivation like it's the fuel that drives success. But motivation is temporary. It's fragile. It disappears the moment life gets difficult, and if your actions depend on your emotions, you'll never build anything lasting. The truth is simple: emotions lie, but habits don't. Success belongs to those who can separate what they feel from what they do. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal when you were excited, only to abandon it when the excitement faded? Everyone has felt that rush of inspiration after watching something powerful or hearing something moving. For a few hours, maybe even a few days, you're unstoppable. But then the feeling fades. Life happens. The mind starts making excuses, saying, "You can do it tomorrow." That's when discipline either saves you or you stop completely. The people who keep going are not the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who've built habits that carry them through when motivation disappears. Habits are the foundation of progress. They are the invisible systems that run your life. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. You just do it because it's part of who you are. The same applies to greatness. When you turn your goals into habits, you remove emotion from the equation. You don't ask yourself if you feel like showing up. You just do. When it becomes part of your identity, consistency becomes automatic. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Building these habits takes time. It takes repetition and patience. At first, it's uncomfortable. Your mind resists change. You'll try to negotiate with yourself, convincing yourself that skipping one day won't matter. But every time you give in to that voice, you strengthen your weakness. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your power. Habits are built in the moments of resistance. The times when you push yourself to act, even when you don't feel like it. Eventually, what once required willpower becomes natural. You no longer need motivation because momentum takes over. When you stop being ruled by emotions, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for the perfect moment, you create it. You don't chase fleeting feelings of motivation, you build a lifestyle of consistency. You realize that success isn't about doing extraordinary things, it's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well every single day. The greatest power you have is the ability to act regardless of how you feel. Once you master that, you'll find freedom, because your emotions will no longer control your direction. You will. And here's the truth most people miss. The way you feel changes after you act. You don't need to feel confident to start. You build confidence by starting. You don't need to feel ready to move. You create readiness through movement. Action creates emotion. Every time you take action when you don't feel like it, you train your mind to follow your lead instead of the other way around. You become the driver, not the passenger. So, stop waiting for motivation. It's not coming to save you. What will save you is consistency, repetition, and commitment. Let your habits be stronger than your moods. Let your actions define your day, not your feelings. Because in the end, emotions are temporary, but habits shape destiny. And when you master the art of acting without emotion, you'll discover a power most people never reach: the ability to keep moving forward no matter what. That's the essence of being unstoppable. Confidence is not something you find. It's something you build. It's not given to you by others, and it's not a feeling that magically appears one morning when things finally go your way. Real confidence comes from consistency. It comes from keeping promises to yourself, from doing the work day after day, even when no one is watching, even when no one claps for you. Every time you do what you said you would do, you strengthen the foundation of trust within yourself. That trust becomes belief, and that belief becomes confidence. The reason so many people lack confidence is simple: they don't follow through. They make commitments they don't honor. They start but never finish. Each time they break a promise to themselves, they send a quiet message to their subconscious that says, "I can't trust myself." Over time, that message becomes a belief, and that belief becomes their reality. They begin to hesitate, to doubt, to shrink back from opportunities because deep down they don't believe they'll follow through. But the opposite is also true. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable, reliable, and worthy of your own trust. That's how real confidence is built, not by words, not by external validation, but by evidence. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's the calm certainty that comes from knowing you've done the work. You don't need to boast or prove anything because your actions already have. It's not loud, it's steady. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's about being strong because you've earned it through repetition and persistence. Consistency is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary belief. You can't fake that. You can't buy that. You have to earn it through discipline, patience, and integrity. And the beautiful thing about confidence built through consistency is that it becomes unshakable. When you know what you've endured, when you know how many times you've kept going despite fear or failure, nothing and no one can take that away from you. People can doubt you, life can test you. But deep down, you'll carry a quiet conviction that says, I've faced worse and I'm still standing. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It shows itself through your presence, your energy, your actions. This kind of confidence isn't built in comfort. It's forged in discipline, in the countless moments when you could have quit but didn't. It's built through repetition of small wins, through choosing progress over perfection, through showing up when it's inconvenient. Every time you do that, you're not just achieving something external, you're shaping who you are internally. You're building a foundation so solid that, even when doubt shows up, it can't shake your certainty. Confidence doesn't start with belief, it starts with behavior. You act your way into confidence. You move before you feel ready. You take the first step even when your knees are shaking. And with each action, you build proof that you are capable. That proof becomes belief, and that belief fuels even greater action. It's a cycle that compounds with time, one that turns fear into focus and hesitation into power. When you live with consistency, confidence becomes natural. You no longer need to convince yourself that you can. You just know, because you've kept your word, faced the pain, endured the pressure, and grown stronger from it. That's real confidence, not built on hype or hope, but on history. The history of you doing exactly what you said you would do. And when you live like that, you stop chasing confidence. You become it. Pressure is something most people run from, but those who truly grow understand it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to shape you. Pressure exposes your limits, and in doing so, it gives you a chance to expand them. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every great breakthrough ripens under pressure. It's what forces you to dig deeper, to rise higher, and to discover strength you didn't even know existed. Without pressure, there is no progress. Without challenge, there is no change. When life applies pressure, it's easy to see it as something negative, something unfair. You feel the weight of responsibility, the fear of failure, the exhaustion that comes from giving everything you have. But that's the exact environment where greatness is forged. Pressure is the fire that refines you, just as heat purifies gold or forms diamonds from rough stone. You don't get stronger in comfort, you get stronger in resistance. Pressure demands that you adapt, that you think faster, move smarter, and act bolder. It forces growth in ways comfort never could. Most people pray for an easier path, but what they really need is more resilience. Pressure reveals character. It shows whether your words align with your actions, whether your commitment matches your ambition. Anyone can talk about discipline when life is easy. The real test comes when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you choose to stay steady. Pressure doesn't create weakness. It exposes it, and then gives you a chance to strengthen it. When you learn to embrace pressure instead of avoiding it, it becomes your teacher. Every stressful situation, every obstacle, every setback becomes an opportunity to grow tougher, wiser, and more capable. Think about the moments in your life that changed you the most. Were they the comfortable ones? Probably not. They were the ones that challenged you, the ones that broke you open and forced you to rebuild stronger. Pressure doesn't come to crush you. It comes to call out the potential inside you that comfort kept hidden. When you stop running from it and start leaning into it, everything shifts. You begin to see pressure as a sign that you're evolving, that you're moving towards something greater. Every successful person has felt that suffocating weight, the deadlines, the failures, the uncertainty. The difference is they refused to crumble under it. They used it. They turned fear into focus and anxiety into energy. They didn't wait for the storm to pass. They learned to move within it. Because once you realize that pressure is inevitable, you stop resisting it. You stop wishing it away. Instead, you allow it to forge into something unstoppable. Pressure gives meaning to achievement. Without it, victory would feel hollow. You wouldn't value success if it came easily. The struggle is what gives it worth. When you handle pressure with purpose, you don't just survive, you evolve. You build mental toughness, emotional stability, and a level of inner strength that can't be shaken by circumstances. So the next time pressure builds, don't curse it. Don't run from it. Recognize it for what it is, a signal that you're growing. Use it as fuel. Let it shape your discipline, sharpen your focus, and strengthen your resolve. Because when pressure meets purpose, transformation begins. That's where the unstoppable version of you is born. Not in comfort, not in ease, but in the heat of the moment where most people give up. When you learn to thrive under pressure, you become someone who doesn't just survive challenges. You master them. And once you master pressure, nothing in life can ever break you again. Becoming unstoppable isn't about competing with others. It's about becoming the standard. It's about deciding that you are no longer going to measure yourself by the expectations or limitations of the world around you. It's choosing to live by a higher code, one that demands excellence, consistency, and accountability, no matter who's watching. Becoming the standard means you stop looking for examples to follow and start becoming one. You stop waiting for permission and start creating the path yourself. You hold yourself to a level of discipline and integrity that doesn't depend on circumstances, feelings, or recognition. Most people drift through life following what's popular or convenient. They do what everyone else is, it's right, but because it's easy. But those who become the standard, those who rise above average, don't follow trends. They set them. They don't wait for opportunities, they build them. They understand that real leadership starts from within. It's not about titles or attention, it's about how you show up every day. When you live by discipline, you inspire others through your example. You become proof that consistency, resilience, and purpose can create transformation. Being the standard means holding yourself accountable even when no one else will. It's refusing to lower your expectations just to fit in. It's doing the right thing when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or unseen. It's pushing through when you could stop, staying focused when distractions pull at you, and demanding more from yourself than anyone else ever could. The standard is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about showing up fully, no excuses, no shortcuts, no compromises. Every single day you decide to live in alignment with your highest potential, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Becoming the standard also means you stop comparing yourself to others. You realize that your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to evolve, to raise your own bar a little higher. The goal is not to be better than anyone else. It's to be better than you were before. Because when you live like that, growth becomes inevitable. You stop chasing validation and start creating results. You don't need applause or approval. Your progress speaks for itself. When you set the standard, you influence people without trying. Your energy, your focus, your discipline, they inspire others to level up too. You become a living example of what's possible when someone refuses to settle. You become the person others look to when they need strength, direction, or courage. Not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent. You've proven that no matter what life throws at you, you'll keep going. This is what it means to be unstoppable. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. It's about owning your actions, your mindset, and your destiny. It's about saying, I am the standard, and backing it up with relentless effort. Every choice you make, every habit you build, every obstacle you overcome becomes part of that standard. And over time, it defines who you are. When you become the standard, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop being shaped by the world and start shaping it. You no longer need motivation because discipline has taken its place. You no longer need direction because purpose leads the way. You've built a version of yourself that doesn't crumble under pressure, that doesn't depend on approval, that doesn't quit when it gets tough. That's what being the standard means, living with such conviction and consistency that nothing external can shake your internal foundation. When you reach that point, you don't just become unstoppable. You become a force of example. You become the living proof that discipline over doubt isn't just a phrase, it's a lifestyle. It's the mark of someone who's decided to rise, no matter what stands in the way. There comes a moment when you stop chasing potential and start living it. When you stop asking for strength and start realizing it's already inside you. You've walked through doubt, faced resistance, pushed through fatigue, and stood tall under pressure. You've proven something most people never do, that discipline can silence every excuse, every fear, every limitation. You've learned that being unstoppable isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to quit. This journey isn't about luck or talent. It's about decisions. Every single day, you get to decide who you're going to be. Will you listen to doubt, or will you rise through discipline? Will you wait for motivation, or will you create momentum? Because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you your dream. The life you want, the peace you crave, the success you imagine, it's all waiting on the other side of your commitment. There will be days when you're tired, when the results feel far away, when you wonder if it's all worth it. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that shape champions. Anyone can keep going when it's easy. The unstoppable ones keep going when it's not. They use pain as power, doubt as fuel, and setbacks as stepping stones. Your future isn't built in the highlight moments. It's built in the quiet when no one's cheering, when no one's watching, when only you know the fight you're in. That's where greatness is born. And if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing forward, if you keep choosing discipline over doubt, there's nothing that can stop you. So, stand tall. Breathe deep. Remember who you are. You are not average. You are not meant to live small. You are built to rise, to lead, to create, to conquer. The world doesn't need another dreamer. It needs a doer. It needs someone who turns pain into purpose, fear into fire, and vision into victory. You are that person. This is your time, your moment, your rise. Don't wait for the right conditions. Create them. Don't wait for the perfect day. Make today the one that changes everything. Because when you live with purpose, when you lead with action, and when you let discipline guide your every move, you don't just chase greatness. You become it. You become the example. You become the standard. You become unstoppable.